Sharon and Nick conspire, Devon blasts Kane, Lauren's surprise offer. The Young and the Restless update for the week of February 23rd to 27th indicate that Sharon Newman and Nick Newman will communicate following Matt Clark's release. Kane Ashby will also face Devon Winter's wrath while Lauren Fenmore Baldwin reacts to an unanticipated development. For starters, Victoria Newman will face some resistance when she urges Nick to fly to Milan with her. Victoria will want some help using Summer Newman against Phyllis Summers, but Nick won't like the sound of that. Nick's shifting moods will also raise reservations about his medicine lozenge and how he's really doing. After Victoria voices enterprises, Sharon may see further red flags as well. It's egregious Nick has dipped into that fentanyl store by now, but he'll keep concealing that as stylish as he can. Sharon will eventually conspire with Nick on a plot against Matt since Victor Newman will deliver the news that he took off after his release. Once Sienna Bacall reunites with Noah in Genoa City, he'll make it his charge to keep her safe from Matt no matter what. Noah, Sienna, Sharon and Nick will all have an important discussion before Victoria ultimately pitches in on a trap that Nick's setting. As for Audra Charles, she'll have a busy week as well. Audra will get on Noah's bad side when he learns she's teaming up with Sally Spectra since Billy Abbott stole Newman media for her. On the bright side, Audra and Kyle will unite in their misprision for the Newmans, so effects won't be relatively as contentious between them. Other Y&R spoilers say Sally and Chelsea will have a heated battle, but Sally won't budge on giving back Newman media. Sally will suggest it's not over to her since she's needed by contract to follow Billy and their investors' instructions. Still, Chelsea and Adam may stir up further trouble for Sally latterly. Audra will fight to stop Sally from making an expensive boob, so she may save Spectra Charles media and this occasion of a continuance. After Devon eventually realizes Kane is responsible for Lily Winter's evaporating act, he'll let his wrathfulness erupt. Devon will blast Kane and eventually interrogate Victor with Nate Hastings' help. Once Phyllis gets into a major argument with Daniel Romalotti Jr., she'll hear to Kane's concession and attempt to negotiate with her. Eventually, the Young and the Restless spoilers say Lauren will reply to a pitch that she didn't anticipate, so stay tuned to see if she'll take advantage of a new occasion. The week of February 23rd to 27th on The Young and the Restless pledges a waterfall of emotional fallout, secret alliances, and dangerous ruses that will ripple through every corner of Genoa City, beginning with the decreasingly fragile state of Nick Newman. Fresh off the unsettling news that Matt Clark has been released, Nick finds himself pulled in multiple directions, by family fidelity, buried guilt, and a dependence he refuses to defy. When Victoria Newman urges him to accompany her to Milan on a strategic business trip, her true motive snappily becomes clear: she wants to weaponize Summer Newman in a calculated initiative against Phyllis Summers. Victoria frames it as necessary commercial warfare, arguing that Phyllis has surpassed too numerous times and that Summers' disunited commitment could be abused to recapture control. But Nick recoils at the idea of manipulating his son for business gain. His turndown isn't just moral, it's particular. His formerly floundering to maintain equilibrium, and Victoria's pressure only amplifies the cracks forming beneath his calm surface. His mood swings come harder to ignore, especially for Sharon Newman, who has always known how to read him better than anyone. Sharon senses commodity deeper than stress. She notices the subtle earthquake in his hands, the distant glaze in his eyes, the way he deflects concern with forced humor. Victoria, too, begins to question whether Nick's reliance on his so-called drug tablets is as inoffensive as he claims. Though it's obvious that he has dipped back into that fentanyl store, Nick remains determined to conceal the extent of his reliance. He tells himself he has it under control, that he can stop anytime, but every battle pushes him near to the edge. Meanwhile, the specter of Matt Clark looms large. When Victor Newman announces that Matt dissolved shortly after his release, alarm bells ring throughout the Newman family. The recrimination is clear: Matt is planning commodity. Nick's defensive instincts enkindle incontinently, particularly where Sharon and their loved bones are concerned. Despite their complicated romantic history, Sharon and Nick find themselves united formally again, conspiring to outthink a common trouble. Their renewed closeness is subtle but unmistakable: late-night strategy sessions, hushed exchanges, participated ganders that speak of undetermined passions. Sharon agrees to help Nick set a trap for Matt, indeed though she worries about the risk it's taking on him. When Sienna Bacall returns to Genoa City and reunites with Noah Newman, the stakes escalate further. Noah vows to keep Sienna safe at any cost, induced that Matt's preoccupation hasn't faded. A tense gathering between Noah, Sienna, Sharon, and Nick underscores the graveness of the situation. They anatomize every possible move Matt might make, mooting whether to go to the authorities or bait him into exposing himself. Ultimately, indeed Victoria, originally concentrated on business, agrees to help in executing Nick's trap. The plan is parlous, hanging on Matt's pungency and Nick's capability to stay sharp. But with Nick's judgment potentially clouded by substance use, Sharon fears their strategy could buckle. Across city, commercial conspiracy intensifies as Audra Charles navigates a turbulent week. Her cooperation with Sally Spectra, sparked after Billy Abbott effectively handed over Newman Media, draws the wrath of Noah. He interprets Audra's alliance with Sally as opportunistic treason, especially given the involved web of once commitment. When Noah confronts her, Audra remains unapologetic, averring that survival in Genoa City requires bold moves. Ironically, she and Kyle Abbott find common ground in their collective mistrust of the Newmans. Though their cooperation is realistic rather than tender, it creates a redoubtable front. Audra's fidelity, still, is tested when pressures flare between Sally and Chelsea Lawson. Chelsea, backed by Adam Newman, demands that Sally relinquish control of Newman Media, arguing that it rightfully belongs under Newman influence. Sally refuses to budge, citing contractual scores to Billy and their investors. The battle grows hotter, with old battles resurfacing. Chelsea accuses Sally of exploiting loopholes. Sally counters that Chelsea is driven by covetousness and instability. As Adam still strategizes behind the scenes, Audra realizes that Sally's coming move could determine the survival of Spectra Charles Media. When Sally contemplates an precious, impulsive accession to assert dominance, Audra intervenes, advising that recklessness could ruin them both. Her intervention may eventually save the company, and solidify her part as the steadier half of their cooperation. Away, domestic pressures reach a boiling point when Devon Winters uncovers substantiation entwining Kane Ashby in Lily Winters' mysterious exposure. Devon's fury is immediate and explosive. He confronts Kane with slightly subdued rage, criminating him of manipulation and dishonesty. Kane attempts to justify his conduct, claiming he was guarding Lily from a larger trouble, but Devon refuses to hear. The battle spills into public view, drawing the attention of Nate Hastings, who sides with Devon in demanding answers. Together, they interrogate Victor, suspecting that his influence may have enabled Kane's scheme. Victor remains characteristically fugitive, offering half-trueness and cryptic warnings. Devon's wrath only intensifies when he realizes how deeply Lily has been hurt by Kane's choices. For Devon, this isn't just business, it's family. His determination to expose the verity threatens to unravel alliances that have held for times. Meanwhile, Phyllis finds herself at odds with Daniel Romalotti Jr., their argument reflecting the generational peak in handling heads. Daniel accuses his mama of immortalizing chaos, while Phyllis insists she's fighting for survival in a city that no way gives alternate chances. In the fate of their clash, Phyllis overhears Kane's reticent concession regarding Lily's exposure. Seeing influence, she approaches Kane with the offer she'll keep his secret, for a price. Kane, hopeless to contain the fallout, considers negotiating, indeed as he realizes that aligning with Phyllis could enkindle further disaster. Their uneasy alliance underscores the shifting power dynamics in Genoa City, where fidelity is transitory and secrets are currency. Eventually, an unanticipated occasion lands at the bases of Lauren Fenmore Baldwin. When she receives a surprising pitch, one that could expand Fenmore's into uncharted home, Lauren is originally skeptical. The offer challenges her to step beyond her comfort zone, potentially partnering with doubtful abettors. As she weighs the pitfalls and prices, she reflects on her trip from ingenue to hustler businesswoman. The decision she makes could review her heritage and alter the balance of power within the fashion and media geography of Genoa City. Throughout the week, every plot converges on a central theme: trust is fragile, and every alliance carries retired costs. Sharon and Nick's conspiracy against Matt tests their emotional boundaries. Devon's fury at Kane threatens to fracture domestic bonds. Sally and Chelsea's commercial war exposes precariousness and ambition. Lauren's surprise offer forces her to review what she's willing to risk for growth. And beneath it all, Nick's secret struggle with dependence looms as the most unpredictable ticking timepiece of all. As the week unfolds, observers will witness love tested, commitment questioned, and strategies set in stir, each twist propelling Genoa City toward a reckoning that promises to leave no bone unchanged. As the pressure deepens in The Young and the Restless, the emotional swings driving each character begin to collide in ways that feel both ineluctable and explosive. The trap that Nick Newman and Sharon Newman precisely constructed to ensnare Matt Clark becomes more intricate by the day. Nick insists on controlling every detail: where the meeting will take place, who'll be present, indeed the timing of each phone call meant to bait Matt into revealing himself. Sharon watches him obsess over logistics with mounting concern. His focus seems razor-sharp one moment and erratic the coming. She notices how frequently he reaches into his fund, fritters brushing the small drum he keeps hidden there. When she gently questions whether he's taking further than specified, Nick bristles, criminating her of distrusting him. The flash of wrathfulness is brief but telling. Sharon knows the signs. She's lived through enough fermentation to fate when someone she loves is twisting. Meanwhile, Victor Newman still initiates his own disquisition into Matt's exposure. Victor trusts no bone. Entirely, not indeed Nick. He deploys private security to track fiscal deals and trip records, convinced Matt is still within striking distance of Genoa City. Victor's provocation isn't purely paternal. It's strategic, however. Victor wants to anticipate the blow before it lands, if Matt is conniving vengeance. When he learns that Matt may have communicated an associate connected to an old business rival, Victor withholds the information, choosing to observe how Nick handles the trouble. To Victor, this is a test of leadership. To Sharon, it's a dangerous adventure with lives at stake. The reunion between Noah Newman and Sienna Bacall provides transitory warmth amid the fermentation. Noah's defensive instincts consolidate after he learns further about Matt's history obsession. He refuses to let Sienna out of his sight, indeed averring she stay at the estate under security surveillance. Sienna appreciates his devotion but struggles with feeling like a liability. During a candid moment with Sharon, she confesses her fear that Matt's preoccupation has put a target on everyone she cares about. Sharon reassures her, emphasizing that consanity is their strength. Yet Sharon cannot ignore the irony that the topmost trouble might not be Matt alone, it could be Nick's deteriorating judgment. As the night of the trap approaches, Victoria re-enters the fold with a sharper perspective. Victoria Newman has always balanced ruthlessness with computation. She advises Nick to anticipate treason, suggesting that Matt may anticipate a setup. Victoria proposes carrying a fake argument between Nick and Sharon in public to produce the vision of disharmony, hoping it'll bait Matt into believing they're divided. The plan is bold, but it requires Nick to perform convincingly. Sharon agrees, though she worries the emotional strain could push Nick further into reliance on his retired store. The offered battle at Crimson Lights draws attention. Harsh words are changed, allegations fly, and for a moment indeed Noah questions whether his parents are truly slivering again. But beneath the performance lies a participated resoluteness. Across city, commercial battles escalate into particular vendettas. Sally Spectra faces mounting pressure from Chelsea Lawson, whose alliance with Adam Newman grows further strategic by the hour. Chelsea frames her crusade to reclaim Newman Media as a matter of heritage, averring that the company's identity has been distorted under Sally's leadership. Sally counters that invention requires elaboration. Their heated exchange tumbles into the boardroom, where investors begin to question stability. Billy Abbott, though originally probative of Sally, becomes cautious of the raising conflict. He warns her that pride can be as destructive as sabotage. Sally hears him but refuses to appear weak. Audra Charles weighs in as the realistic voice Sally desperately needs. Audra strictly analyzes the fiscal counter-accusations of the precious succession Sally is considering, a flashy tech incipiency that promises immediate buzz but carries retired arrears. Audra uncovers disagreement in the incipiency's projected profit, suspecting exaggerated valuations designed to allure impulsive buyers. When she presents her findings, Sally is forced to review. The pressure between ambition and caution defines their cooperation. Audra's intervention not only averts implicit fiscal disaster but also earns reticent respect from Kyle, who begins to see her as further than a rival opportunist. In another corner of Genoa City, domestic fidelity fractures under the weight of treason. Devon Winters refuses to let Kane Ashby shirk responsibility for Lily Winters' exposure. Devon's battle with Kane intensifies when new substantiation shells, a series of translated dispatches suggesting Kane orchestrated Lily's temporary evaporating to guard her from commercial retribution. Kane argues his intentions were defensive, claiming he stressed Lily would be targeted amid raising boardroom conflict. Devon rejects the defense outright. Protection without concurrence, he argues, is manipulation. Their clash becomes physical, forcing Nate to intermediate before it spirals beyond form. Nate Hastings finds himself caught between fidelity to Devon and his own complicated history with Victor. Nate agrees to question Victor about his implicit involvement, defying him with symptomatic honesty. Victor, ever composed, denies orchestrating Lily's exposure but admits he was apprehensive of Kane's fears. His admission energizes Devon's dubitation that Victor allowed the deception to unfold for strategic gain. The battle underscores a recreating verity in Genoa City. Victor's chessboard extends further than anyone realizes. Meanwhile, Phyllis Summers pushes through her own storm. Her argument with Daniel Romalotti Jr. leaves her shaken. Daniel's frustration stems from times of watching his mama oscillate between triumph and tone sabotage. When Phyllis overhears Kane's reticent concession, she recognizes an occasion to recapture influence in a city that has constantly sidelined her. She approaches Kane with a calculated proposition she'll suppress the information in exchange for a stake in a new adventure Kane is still developing. Kane hesitates, apprehensive that aligning with Phyllis invites chaos. Yet despair narrows his options. Their conditional alliance becomes a ticking time lemon, erected on collective mistrust. Back at the Newman estate, the trap for Matt eventually unfolds. Nick receives a cryptic communication directing him to an abandoned storehouse on the outskirts of city. Against Sharon's pleas, he insists on going alone to maintain credibility. Unknown to him, Sharon and Victor coordinate security brigades to shadow him from a distance. Inside the dimly lit storehouse, pressure crackles. Matt emerges from the murk, riding Nick about his perceived weakness. The battle turns cerebral as Matt alludes to knowing Nick's secret, intimating that he's apprehensive of the fentanyl store. Nick's countenance falters for a split second, enough for Matt to sense vulnerability. When security moves in, Matt attempts to flee, driving a chaotic pursuit. The trap succeeds in arresting him, but not without consequence. Nick's adrenaline crash leaves him visibly shaken, and Sharon realizes the fire has pushed him closer to collapse. In the fate, Sharon confronts Nick intimately, prompting him to seek help. She reminds him of the adaptability he formerly embodied, the strength that carried him through one's heads. Nick listens, eyes clouded with clashing feelings. He admits his hysterical of losing control, hysterical of cheating his family, hysterical that admitting weakness will confirm every mistrustfulness Victor ever raised about him. Sharon assures him that vulnerability isn't failure. The moment is intimate and raw, reigniting embers of connection neither has completely extinguished. Away, Lauren's unanticipated offer crystallizes into a palpable occasion. Lauren Fenmore Baldwin is approached by an institute seeking to combine Fenmore's with a slice-edge digital fashion platform. The offer promises global expansion but demands significant restructuring. Lauren consults with Michael, importing the threat of lacing her brand's heritage against the appeal of invention. Eventually, she decides to negotiate terms that save Fenmore's identity while embracing modernization. Her decision positions her as a ground between tradition and metamorphosis, echoing the broader themes unfolding across Genoa City. As the week draws to a close, each plot converges in subtle but profound ways. Nick's battle with Matt exposes not only a felonious trouble but a particular bone. Devon's fury at Kane underscores the fragile boundary between protection and control. Sally and Chelsea's contest highlights the cost of ambition unbounded by empathy. Lauren's vault into the future symbolizes adaptability amid change. And through it all, the beating heart of Genoa City beats with secrets, schemes, and the enduring stopgap that indeed in a world defined by treason, redemption remains possible.